Hello and welcome to another fly tying session with your host Scott. In this session I'm going to be fulfilling a viewer request for a pattern called the Peeping Caddis. Now all requests are definitely welcomed, so long as I've got the materials. I will have a go at tying them for you. So enough said about that. In the vise we've got a Camazan B830 size 10. This is a 2 times long shank hook. These are your 3 times or even 4 times long shank hooks, the B800. We're using the shorter version. I've probably been saying it wrong all this time, and I've been calling it 1 times long. I think 1 times is a standard shank, so my apologies for that if you've ever noticed that. For the underbody we're going to be using a fine lead wire. The bead we've got on the hook is a 3.3mm brass or gold bead. You could use tungsten, but you might need a 10 weight to cast it, because this fly is designed to get down deep very quickly. It's a very, very heavy fly. For the dubbing of the body we're going to be using rabbit fur. Now you could use hare, you could use squirrel, it's all pretty much the same colour. Rabbit's just a bit easier to work with in my opinion, and that's why I use it. For the thread I'm using something that matches the colour of the body. This one's called Rusty Dun in 8/0, and that's the colour it is. For the rib we're using a very fine gold wire. For the peeping part, because you're supposed to make it look like its head's peeping out of the case, we're going to be using this white chenille here. Now you can use wool, you can use a yarn, but I'm going to use the white chenille. And for the legs, because it's got legs poking out as well, we're going to be using probably just a single turn of a partridge neck feather there. So let's get to work. First of all I'm going to bed the hook. I take the thread all the way down to where the bend starts. Now this fly is meant to look like a caddis that's in its case, and it's just peeping out, and it's definitely meant to be fished on the bottom. You could use it on still waters or rivers. I think it is meant to be used on the river, and you fish it upstream so it gets down. And then we're going to put some lead wire on the shank. Now, I don't tie the wire in, I literally just pull off a short length, and I'll leave a gap there for my materials that I want to tie there, and then just wind tight turns to about there, and I'll leave a bit of room so that I can finish the fly off. And come in with your scissors. Don't use the tip, use the body of the scissor. There we are. And trim away. You don't want to blunt the tip on wires. And if it's sticking out a bit, just get the handle of the scissors and press it down. There we go. Then I'm going to prepare the head. In this case the tail is the head, just to confuse everybody. I'm going to get a short length of this chenille, no more than 1 inch, you don't need much. Now I'm going to get a cigarette lighter and just blacken the end. Like so, and that's meant to look like the caddis fly's head. And then we're going to tighten about there. And trim away. And just tidy that area up there. ready for your hackle. Now you want one with fairly short fibres, you don't want it too long. That'll probably do it. You're not going to be using much of the feather anyway. I think it's literally one turn. So you're going to get rid of your fluff. And find the tip with your hackle pliers. Brush the fibres back so that you end up with this delta shape or chevron. Tie the feather in at the tip and then run the thread up to where the lead starts, roughly. Trim away. Then get your preferred hackle pliers for winding hackles. I don't use the English, traditional English hackle pliers for winding hackles. I normally use these Stonfo ones. Then you want, that's probably all you need. Maybe that much. There we go, that'll do it. And then tie it in. You don't want too many legs. It needs to be fairly sparsely dressed. Now I'm going to brush all of them back towards the bend of the hook. And that should do it for your head. This is really the tail, technically. So then we're going to tie in our gold wire. And tie in your wire. And then just roughly go over the lead, just to give it some anchorage. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then you're going to start to dub. Another important thing to mention actually with the caddis is you want to try and match the substrate of the lake or river that you're fishing. Now round by me, a lot of the lakes and rivers are bedded with slate, so you want grey really. It just depends on where it is you guys are fishing, and you can change your dubbing to suit. Olive can be quite good, or even like a muddy brown, whatever you fancy. And just keep adding dubbing until you get up to the bead. If you want to, you can taper it slightly as well. I don't think I'm going to bother in this case. And there's the body. Then you're going to wind your gold wire as the rib. Tie it in. Pull the thread tight and give the wire a wobble. There we go. And then we're going to proceed to lock the bead in. So the best way to do that is to wind just slightly beyond the bead. Basically filling the bead full of thread. There we go, that's in. And then I'm going to add a tad more dubbing just to cover up that thread. That should do it. Put a bit of varnish on the thread. And whip finish. I'm going to whip finish this one twice because it's a really heavy fly. I can just see it coming undone with the shock of that bead. Trim your thread away. Tease those fibres out. And there we are. That is the Peeping Caddis. I hope the viewer that requested it enjoyed that, and obviously all of my other viewers. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.